Hey y'all, welcome to another episode of Christmas at the Crafty Cove. My name's Missy. Y'all know how we like to do it around here. We like to do farmhouse decor on a Dollar Tree budget. Today I am so excited. I am bringing back two of my favorite Christmas DIYs ever, both made with foam board as the main piece of material, and I hope y'all enjoy this. Here we go. We're going to make a little red truck. This was not my idea. I got this from Everyday Life with Heather. She's over on Facebook, and I am going to link her Facebook page in the comments below so that y'all can go check her out. But what we're going to do is we're going to start out with 15 foam board pieces from the Dollar Tree. These are just the ready board foam pieces, and they're $1.25 a piece. And then we're also going to use 2 pieces of poster board, regular poster board from the Dollar Tree. Now, of these 15 pieces of foam board, you're going to want to leave 2 of them full. No cutting, no anything. So we're going to leave those 2 full and put those off to the side. Then we're going to take another piece of foam board. And this one, we're going to cut 2 of these in the same exact way. 16 inches tall and 28 inches wide. And I'm going to label these as the bed. So these will be each side of the bed of my truck. So we're just going to get these all measured out how we need them, and then we just go ahead and cut them out. I got this craft knife from Walmart for like $5. If I can find the link, I'm going to put it in the description box below, because this thing is awesome at cutting this foam board. There weren't many jagged edges at all. It cut through it perfectly, and it was so cheap, and I love it. So I'll try to look for a link for that. So again, cut both of those pieces the exact same way. Now we're going to take one foam board, and we are going to cut it 28 inches tall and 16 inches wide. And this is one of our doors. Now we're going to end up cutting 2 of these, but I'm cutting the first one, and then we'll cut the second one using the first one as a template. Once you get that cut down, go up to the top where it's 16 inches wide and measure to 12 inches. Make a little mark. Then put one of your full pieces underneath and make sure they're flush at the bottom. Both of them are flush together. And right where those 2 boards meet, go ahead and make another mark. Now you're just going to draw a line from each of the marks. And I believe this is about 8.5 inches is what it's going to be. And we're making it a diagonal line, and what we're going to do is we're going to cut that out. You'll see here in just a second, I'll make it a little more sense. There you go. That's our door. So now we're going to cut another one the exact same way. I'm just writing down what this is. Cut another one the exact same way, only using the first one as a template. So I'm just going to trace it out, and then we are going to go ahead and get that cut out, and we make sure that we label that also as a door. Next, we're going to cut one piece at 24 inches tall and 12 inches wide, and I'm going to label this as the top. And this is what's going to be at the top of our doors to hold our one piece to hold our truck together. So we get all of that just traced out the way that we need it to be, and then we go ahead and cut that out. This is a lot of cuts, but if you take your time, it's really not that big of a deal. Now we're going to take, I'm sorry, we are still cutting on this top. I have to kind of watch what I'm doing just to even know what it is that I do next. Okay, now that we've got that finished and labeled, we're going to take another piece of wood, foam board, and we are going to cut this 20 inches tall and 24 inches wide, and we're going to label this either back or back of cab. So you can see here, I'm just, again, getting my measurements, making my lines, and then I'm going through with my craft knife and cutting these foam board pieces out. This is probably the most time-consuming part of this entire project, is cutting these pieces out. And this project took me a while, but it's only because I wanted to make sure that I got this right and that it was easy for y'all to understand. So if it's not and you have any questions, please let me know in the comments below or email me, and I would love to be able to help you, because this turns out absolutely adorable. Now we're going to take another piece of foam board, and we're going to cut a couple different sizes out. One we're going to make 26 inches wide and 6.5 inches tall. Then 27 inches wide by 4 inches tall. and then 2 smaller pieces that are 4 inches tall by 1.5 inches wide. What we're going to do is we're going to start taping these together with some masking tape. So I just put some masking tape on the edge of the shorter board, and we are going to tape that right to the edge of the wider board. Does that make sense? Y'all can see here what I'm doing. After we get it taped down, then we're just going to reinforce with some more tape on the back. And then we are going to take those smaller pieces, and those are going to be our side pieces. We're just making a tailgate is what we're making right now. After you get this side of the smaller pieces done, you just flip it on over and do the exact same thing to the other side. Here we are. We're just continuing to finish that up. After we get the other side taped, then we're going to take some duct tape and go through, and everywhere that's got masking tape, we are just reinforcing with some duct tape just to make sure this has a really secure hole. You could see some notches in there. I'll show you later what those are for. But now we're just going to paint this, the entire piece, inside, outside, everywhere, with 2 good coats of silver chalk paint, or craft paint. Now we're going to make our wheel wells. To do this, I'm taking one of these oil drainage pans, I guess, that I got from the Dollar Tree. I bought 4 of these. I'm going to lay it down on a piece of foam board and trace out the top half of it. Then I'm going to come in 2 inches, or out 2 inches, and go all the way around it just like that first one is. Does that make any kind of sense, y'all? This is just like a rainbow shape, a half moon shape, whatever it is you want to call it. I really don't know. But after we get it traced out, now we're going to use that craft knife, and we are going to go ahead and cut this out. So we cut along around the bottom arch, and then around the top arch. I start with the top arch, but it doesn't really matter however you want to do it. And we are just going to cut this piece out. We are going to end up making 8 of these. So I'm going to use this first one as a template to go ahead and trace out 7 more. Once I get this first one cut out, we'll go ahead and trace out 7 more and then cut those out. And that's what we're going to use. I guess I'm going to call them wheel wells. I'm not absolutely positive that that's what they're called because I have no idea about vehicles, but y'all know how that goes with me. So I'm just taking my time and going slowly and getting this all cut out. And now here we are, just using that as a template for the other pieces. After you get those all cut out, then we're going to take the poster board. We're going to leave it at the length it is and then cut out 4-inch wide strips. We're going to cut 4 of those. These aren't quite long enough, but then I do fix it, so you'll see in just a second how we do that. After we get those cut out, I'm just using scissors to cut them out. After we get those cut out, we're going to start putting our wheel wells together. Now to do this, you're going to take one piece of one of the arches that we made out of the foam board. We're going to start adding some hot glue to the edge around the outside of this foam board piece. And then we are just going to attach our poster board right to it. We're going to go all the way around this with this poster board and with the hot glue the exact same way all the way around it. And then when we get to the end or at the bottom of this, you will see that my piece of poster board for some reason was not long enough, but I do fix that. I just go through and take a smaller piece and we just glue that right on. But you will see that in just a couple of minutes. And we're in the middle now, and now I just sped it up a little bit and we're at the end. So we're going to glue the end of this down. And that's where you can see that it is a little bit short, and it will be on every one of them, so we have to do this part on every single one of them also. I just cut another piece. I put my hot glue on my poster board and on my foam board, and I just glued the smaller piece of poster board right onto the edge of that. Now, all we're going to do is flip that over, and we're going to use another piece of foam board and do the exact same thing. And we're going to end up doing this 4 different times. So each wheel well gets 2 of those foam board arches and 1 of the 4-inch wide pieces of poster board. After we get that finished, we're going to go all around it, and we are just going to tape it up. You all may want to try to be a little neater. I was not very neat with mine, and it kind of shows in my finished project. But again, I just wasn't thinking that this would show it all, so I was just a little messy on this. But you all will definitely want to be a little bit neater on this. And after we get all 4 of those wheel wells finished, we're just going to paint all of them with 2 good coats of some red craft paint. And I do the insides, outsides, everything of this. So now we're going to step away from the foam board for just a minute. And what we're going to do is we're going to build the rails that go on the side of our truck bed. So what I'm using is 6 1-gallon paint stir sticks and 18 jumbo craft sticks. Now, I can't really give you any measurements on this because it's going to be different for everyone, just depending on how you want your racks to be on the back of the truck. So I am just going to show you, excuse me, y'all, basically how I am doing this so that you can do the same thing, or you can use 1 or 5-gallon paint sticks for this also instead of the jumbo craft sticks, but I found this much easier. But anyway, as you can see, I'm just doing 3 layers, a top, a middle, and a bottom, or rows, and just gluing those straight to the paint stir sticks and overlapping the jumbo craft sticks. And we do this twice because you want 1 rail on each side of the truck. After we get those finished, we're just going to take some Waverly Antique Wax, use a paper towel, and I'm just going to rub my wax on and then rub any excess off. I do the fronts and the backs of both of these pieces. Now, we're going to go back to our foam board. We're going to get our 2 pieces that we cut out to be our doors. We're going to take one of our 5x7 picture frames, lay it on top of each piece, trace out the middle, and then we're going to cut that out. And that's going to become the window to our doors. Now all we're doing is we're going through and we're going to tape around the edges of every single piece of foam board that we have cut out up to this point. We even cut around the inside, or tape around the inside of that window there. Now it's time to start putting our truck together. So here's how we're going to do this, y'all. We're going to take this piece, one of the side bed pieces, which is 28 inches wide and 16 inches tall. We're going to take that and lay it. I'm using the floor because it's the biggest space I have. So we're going to lay that down. And then we're going to take one of our racks and put it behind there, the way we're going to want it to be on our truck. Now, we're not gluing down yet. We just need it down there so that we can figure out exactly how long we need the bed of our truck to be and how long we need our cab to be. I hope that makes a little bit of sense of what I'm saying here. So I'm just holding it on there and then putting it back down on the floor. Y'all can see another outfit change, everything, because this project took me a few days. So now, after we've got that laid out, we're going to take one of our full pieces that we did not cut. We're going to place that on top of, or overlapping, that truck bed piece. And you want the bottoms of those to be flush. You want to make sure, I know I'm showing you up there, but you want the bottoms to be flush. And you're just going to butt it up where you want it to that rack. Again, making sure the bottom is flush. You can see right there. Now I'm just going to take a marker and mark it right there. And then I'm just going to use tons of hot glue right here in this little strip that I marked. And then we are going to take that full sheet and stick it back on that and glue it down. Again, make sure that your bottom of each piece is flush. You want those to be flush on this piece. Now we're going to take our door. Now on our doors, I'm just showing you the measurements here in case you missed them earlier on the video. The doors we do not want flush with the bottom. Where we taped around the bottom of that full piece, because this is going on the full piece, where we taped around the bottom of that full piece, we want that door to be flush with the top of that tape. I hope that makes sense. If you push it all the way down and make it flush with the actual boards, it's going to make your cut off, you know, your little angle that you did on your door. So you want that to be flush with the top of the tape that we used to tape off our full piece. Then again, we're just going to trace around it. That way I know where to put the glue, because y'all know me. When it comes to hot glue, I get a little crazy and I put it in places that it does not need to be in. So now we're just going to go around, and I'm going to go ahead and glue this door down. Again, our rack is not glued yet. We're just gluing these pieces right here. I use a lot of hot glue, and I go ahead and get my door stuck right there to the full piece. Now we're going to do the exact same thing again with the same exact 3 pieces, not these 3 pieces, but you know where we did 2 of each of these. And I'm going to speed this one up a little bit, but it's the same thing, just in the opposite direction, if that makes any sense. So now I'm just speeding it up so that you can see exactly how we're doing this side. Again, I just put that rack there just for reference, so that I would know where the cab of my truck needed to go onto the side bed. So here we are. We've got everything marked up, and we're just going to go ahead and start gluing. Now that we've got those 2 side pieces finished, we're going to go ahead and tape on the inside. I did some taping on the outside too, but it was a messy job. Now we're going to hold one of our side pieces up, run some hot glue right along the top of that door, and then we're going to stick our top piece right there. Then this is the one that's labeled top, and then we're going to do the same exact thing on the other side. That's our top piece. And then I'm just going through and taping up the inside of this also. Now, here I am going to put on the back cab. Now you can see those notches that I cut in there. You do need notches that will kind of come up where those poster boards meet. You do need notches, but I was totally way off and my notches did not work out. But don't worry about that. We are going to go ahead and cover that up. So to attach our back piece, just run some glue along the top back of your top piece. Glue your back cab on there, and then just run some glue around the edges here and glue that to your side beds. I hope that I'm making sense. I think it's better for you to watch than for me to talk, but I am trying to talk through this just to let you all see. Okay, so now we're on our windshield. We're not gluing our windshield in yet. All we're doing is placing it where we want it, and we're going to figure out where we want our windows for our windshield. So after you figure out where you want those windows to be, you're just doing the same thing you did on the door, tracing the inside of that frame out, and then we take it off and cut it. Once we've got those cutouts cut, now we're just going to go ahead. Oh, well, I'm showing you. Now we're just going to go ahead and glue our windshield in. To do that, the windshield, you want it to be under the top piece and resting on those side pieces. So we're just going to run some hot glue along the top and hot glue along those sides there. And we're just going to stick it right in. Now we're going to go ahead and put our hood on. I did not show you me cutting my hood, but it is 24 inches wide by an 11.5 inches tall. And we're just gluing that right to the sides and right to our windshield. After that, I did glue a front piece on, like our front grille. And that was 24 inches wide by 20 inches tall. I'm sorry I didn't show you that. I lost a lot of footage on this. But I also cut some cutouts on the front piece. You'll see it here in just a second. Here's our front piece we're going to glue on now. I just cut some cutouts on there just to look like a little grill. Now we're going to put our tailgate on, which is 24 inches wide by 10 inches tall. When you put this tailgate on, you want it to be flush with the top of the side bed pieces. Because remember, we made a bumper, so that's going to go underneath that. Okay, now we've pretty much got our truck all put together, so we're going to take it outside to the garage. I started to paint this with some spray paint, but I did not like the look of it. I didn't like the streaks and the drips and all that. So I used 2 good coats of red craft paint on the outside and 1 good coat of black craft paint all over the inside of our trucks, or our truck. Now we're going to work on our wheels again. I'm sorry, I just go from one thing to the other, y'all. We're going to take our oil pans and some foam plates from the Dollar Tree. And all we're going to do is put some glue on these foam plates and stick them right in the center of our oil pans. That way, that gives us the look of a hubcap. We're going to do this to all 4 of them. Again, just hot glue and gluing it right into the center of those pans. Now let's put on our racks just using hot glue. We're just going to place those where we want them. You can use clamps if you want right here to hold those in place, but mine held pretty well, so I didn't even worry about the clamps. After we get on the rails, now it's time to put on our wheels. We're going to take our wheel well, and we are going to figure out exactly where we want it. Then we're going to add some hot glue. Now, when you put these on, you want the bottom of those wheel wells to be flush with the bottom of your truck. And then that way your oil pan is going to stick out, because that's what's actually holding your truck up. So after you get the wheel well on, put some hot glue on your pan and stick it right up in there and glue it. I'm going to show you again. This is how we're going to do the back wheel. We're just putting our hot glue on there. Just measure out the place where you want it. Again, flush with the bottom of the truck. And then putting hot glue on half of our pans here. And then sticking those right in there and gluing those right to it. And then we just flip the truck over. Do the exact same thing on the other side. Now it's time to put our bumper on. So this is where those notches came into play. Those notches make it where it can just slide right in on those bottom pieces there. And I'm just using hot glue and just gluing it to our tailgate. But I do have to get on the inside. See, you can see where it fell down. And hot glue a little better, just reinforce with more hot glue. And use tape also here. Now we are just going to take our picture frames and place those on all of our window cutouts. And the truck is finished, but we want a little bit of embellishment. So we're going to take a piece of foam board cut out and a piece of the Dollar Tree calendar page, and I'm just going to glue that right onto that. Cut the excess off, and then I have to have buffalo check in a video, y'all. So I go ahead and just go all the way around this piece with some buffalo check ribbon. I do 2 of these. We're going to put 1 on each door, right in the middle of the door. And then I had a wreath that was already made that I just made a really quick buffalo check bow for. And I stuck that on the front of our truck. So here we are. We are at the final reveal. Y'all, please let me know what you think about this in the comments. Let me know if the voiceover was well enough that you could understand. Make sure you ask any questions that you have, because I would be delighted to help each and every one of you. I hope that you love this as much as I do. I've got it sitting out on my back deck because I have a covered back deck. Again, it's not perfect. There's some little splotches here, splotches there. There's bubbling, but I love it. I think it looks amazing. But y'all, let me know in the comments what you think. Let me know if you thought it was worth the wait. I hope you enjoyed this video. Again, any comments or questions that you have, please do not hesitate to let me know, because I really, really want to know the feedback on this truck. And again, I'm sorry it's taken me so long to get this video out. Y'all know you're amazing, and I love each and every one of you. Thanks for watching. I went to Michael's and I found this 6-pack of 10 by 20 canvases on sale for $12.99. And then I had a $10 rewards from Michael's, so I used that. So these 6 canvases ended up costing me $2.99. I could not have got 6 from the Dollar Tree, so for me this was a better deal. Now we're going to start gluing our canvases together. And the way we're of 10 by 20 canvases on sale for $12.99. And then I had a $10 rewards from Michael's, so I used that. So these 6 canvases ended up costing me $2.99. I could not have got 6 from the Dollar Tree, so for me this was a better deal. Now we're going to start gluing our canvases together. And the way we're going to do that is we're going to glue 2 together vertically, the long side. I guess that's what it's called. But anyway, you can take the canvases off if you want to, but because of the way this is made, I thought that this canvas would actually give it more stability than just the canvas frame. So that's why I left my canvases on there. All I'm going to do is use some wood glue and some hot glue, and we're going to glue 2 together. Then when that sets up, we take our glue gun and we just make a pretty thick line of hot glue in the crease. Now we're going to our second set of 2. Again, wood glue and hot glue. And then we just stick them together. You will have to hold just a few seconds for that hot glue to set up. And as it sets up, the longer you take, the better the wood glue will set up. Now again, we're going right in that crease with quite a bit of hot glue. Don't worry about this because none of this is going to show. After that, I take my stapler and we go ahead and put some staples in this. We are going to make this as sturdy as we possibly can. So there's a lot of steps, but it is totally worth it in the end. So again, we're just adding staples there just for a little more stability. Now what we're going to do is we're going to turn them over, and in that front crack, we are also going to put hot glue. We're going to do this to both of these. I'm just going to move that other one out of the way and do it to the second one. Oh, I'm sorry. First, I go ahead and do my staples. Sorry, y'all. I've only had 1 cup of coffee this morning, so it might get a little crazy here. I'm warning you now, there are going to be some crazy angles. Not cutting or anything, just angles of my filming. Again, flip it over, put our hot glue down that center seam. And now we're going to, after that hot glue dries, staple on the front also. There, ran out of staples. After we get the staples on, another line of hot glue over the staples, and then, oh my goodness, y'all, duct tape. The reason I do this is because when that glue and that duct tape combine together, y'all, it's almost like cement. That thing is going nowhere. I am not a scientist. I do not know why that happens, but I wish I would have known this trick a long time ago. And this is perfect for this. And this duct tape is just Dollar Tree duct tape. So we're wrapping it all the way around that center with the hot glue underneath and then cutting it off. Now we're on to our other one. We're going to go ahead and staple that front. We've already glued. Let the glue dry. Now we're stapling. Then again with our hot glue, sorry I didn't show you that, and our duct tape. Y'all, again, I cannot stress to you the hold that this gives. It is amazing, and I'm sure many YouTubers have said this before. I've just figured it out, so y'all, I'm not taking any credit for this tip at all. Now we're going to do one more set of 2, and I'm just going to go through this a little quicker. You've already seen me do it with the other 2, so now we're just same thing. Glue it together, hot glue down the middle, staples, flip it over, hot glue down the middle seam again, let that dry, staples, then again with another layer of hot glue, and then our duct tape. So when you're finished, you will have 3 sets of 2 canvases. Now, the next thing we are going to do is we're going to get some odd angles here because this was way too big to do on my table. So I'm now down on the floor. Y'all are going to see some crazy headshots. You're going to see my gray hair, my fat rolls, everything. I apologize for that now. So we're going to take one set of 2. Same thing. We're going to put our wood glue on there. And then we are going to put our hot glue on there. And we are going to glue this set of 2 together. I don't exactly know how to explain this other than to say one is horizontal, one is vertical. And we are just going to push those right together, get them as even as possible. Y'all, I'm so sorry for these shots that you're getting. Now we're going to take our staple gun and put 2 staples right there in the corner to join those 2 canvases together. And that just gives me a little more stability because that glue is not dry yet. Now I'm going to flip it up on its side and be very careful with this step because, again, right now it is not very stable at all. We're going to, right there where those two sets came together, again, hot glue. Generous amounts. Y'all, this is a lot of hot glue. After that hot glue dries, I put another strand of hot glue all the way. Then we use our magic trick with our duct tape. I told y'all, this is duct tape and hot glue, and I almost didn't post it because of the materials I used, but I wanted y'all to see how stinking cute this turned out. Now, we're going to staple the corners again on that other side. We just flipped it over. And I'm not sure. Oh, we're stapling down the top of this where those two are joined together. Then again, we are going to hot glue where those join together. And I think we put duct tape right here also. Let me make sure. Like I said, yes, we do. This was a 2-day project, y'all. My husband looked at it the first night and was like, what in the world are you doing? The second night he came home and he could not believe what it actually turned out like. Now we're on to that second piece, that third set of 2. We're doing vertically down the horizontal one. Same exact thing. Wood glue, hot glue, staples, and then hot glue, duct tape. So I'm just kind of speeding this part up just because I had already shown this part to y'all. Okay, now we're doing the front part of the fireplace. What I'm doing is taking foam board, a full piece of foam board, and I am going to just run hot glue in the center of the top shelf and down the side of the vertical piece. I'm hoping I'm explaining this. It's probably going to be easier for y'all to watch than for me to explain. And we're going to glue that right on there. Now, we all know that nothing at the Dollar Tree is cut the same. So, the angles on this are a little odd, but I just get it on as best as I can, and then I just cut off any excess. Then I go through and I staple it down for more reinforcements. Now, I've cut another piece. And what we're doing is we're making the sides. There's a cut piece at the top. I'm sorry I lost that footage. You'll see more here in just a little while. And I'll try to get the dimensions to what I cut this to. But it's all really going to depend on how big you want this. So I glue it down to the side. Oh, so sorry. Y'all just saw a bra strap right there. Apologies. This is the hot mess YouTube. Oh. Again, my apologies, y'all. But I had to show this because of this right here. So we run our line of hot glue. We try to hold it, and then we stick our duct tape right on top of that. Next, we're going to take some popsicle sticks, and on the back side, just glue those right there where those seams are, just for a little more stability. I did forget to show you. I apologize. I actually didn't forget. I lost the footage of me wrapping this completely in brown craft paper from the Dollar Tree. Really easy step. Now we're on to the back. We're going to take a piece of foam board, a full piece, and we're going to glue it just like we did on the front. And then we're going to glue another piece right next to it, and we're going to overlap it on that first piece. It's going to be easier probably for y'all to see what I'm doing. I'm running around the edge right there. Now I'm coming on to the other piece of foam board, and that's because there was no sense in cutting this because this is the back side, and this actually just offered even more stability for this piece. After that, I'm running a piece right down the seam there. Then we're going to do the same thing on the bottom part. We're going to run a bead of hot glue around the edge, put another full piece of foam board on there. I think I used 7 full or 6.5 pieces of foam board on this entire project. After that, we're going to go ahead and staple that side just because it's not stable at all at this point. So we're going to staple that down. Now we're going to add our other piece of foam board on the other side. Run the hot glue down the side of the canvas there. Stick it on, and then again overlap it. Sorry, y'all see my tongue sticking out? When I concentrate, I put my tongue out, so I apologize for that. But you do see the gorgeous Bristol in the background. She always wants to be on the floor when Mommy's on the floor doing something. Now we're going to take some duct tape, and we are going to do that center seam there. I didn't use hot glue on that just because there was too big of a space. The hot glue would have just dripped out. Now we're going to take this spool paper from Michael's that was $9.99. I had a $5 off coupon, so I got it for $4.99. I'm just trying to see how that looks there. Now we're going to move on to our top. The top of this is, again, just the canvases, and I was afraid things would fall through, and if they were just Dollar Tree canvases, they probably would have. So I'm just going to take 3 of these signs from the Dollar Tree that say "Believe in the Magic of Christmas," take all the embellishments off, and we are going to glue these right to the top of those top canvases. Just one right after the other, butt them against each other, and this is going to give our, I guess, mantle more stability. Now we're going to take that paper. I've wrapped it all the way up the front and over the top. And I'm going to take my staple gun and just staple that paper to the canvases and foam board that are on the back there. Now we are just smoothing it out, stapling it on. Then we're going to lay it back down, and I'm going to staple down one side of the paper to our fireplace here. Next, I'm going to cut it off the roll because I still have that roll attached. And again, I didn't even use a half a roll of this paper for this project. So I'm just trying to pull kind of tightly just to make sure we have plenty of paper on this. Now we are going to cut out our centerpiece there where our cutout right there. We're just going to cut our paper out. I had to feel around a little bit just to make sure I get it all right. I do cut a little bigger because we're going to wrap it here in just a few minutes, kind of like a present. Tuck those edges in so it gives it a more finished look. So I cut some little notches there on the sides so that will just wrap right around each piece. I hope I'm explaining this, y'all, the way that y'all can understand. Now we're just going to pull up our paper, put some hot glue down, and glue our paper down. Now we're going to glue down all of our flaps. And again, that just gives it a more finished edge. Next, we are going to put our insert piece in, and all I did was cut another piece of that paper, glue it right down to the middle there. Now we're going to take some, excuse me, one roll of nautical rope from the Dollar Tree and go completely around this. I did decide to go ahead and use another piece of nautical rope and go around it again just for a double rope look, I guess you'd call it. Then we take some square dowel rods, cut them down to the size of our opening, and we are going to glue them on. Y'all, I have got to go see my hairdresser. Look at, when I get home, look at all of that gray hair. Oh, mercy. Anyway, first, we just use our wood glue, hot glue combination. We glue down the sides first, and then I glue down that top piece. Y'all, I absolutely love how this project turned out. I hope you all enjoyed this. I hope it was simple enough for you. Make sure you leave some comments down below to let me know what you think. And the first night that my husband saw it, he was like, oh my goodness. The second night when he came in and it was finished, he thought that I scrapped the first one and went and got wood pallets to do this one. So he thought it was actual wood. But here's our finished project. I love how it turned out. It is beautiful, and it is just what I needed for the holidays. Thank you all again for watching. I appreciate each and every one of you more than you will ever know. And so here's the final reveal of both of our projects. I hope you all enjoyed this video. Make sure you let me know in the comments below what you thought. And I appreciate each and every one of you. I hope that you all have a blessed holiday season. Thanks for watching. Y'all come back now. You hear?